You know, there isn't a game that makes me constantly think about it after completing it with 100 hours under my belt. Heck, I have 300 hours on God of War and 100 plus on God of War Ragnarok, and still, neither of them had made me think as much as I do with Bloodborne. It's a really special game. It has it all. And to be honest, there's not really a game like it. Sure, it's a Souls-like, and it has those annoying runbacks just like the golden era of Dark Souls, but it feels so incredibly different. Now, I know I've made a review on this game, and it is pretty good, and I think it still holds up, but this video is more of me reminiscing about the good old days, and maybe some more unique thoughts of the game. Oh yeah, this is also the perfect time to also talk about the DLC in this video. Oh my god, I just realized something. I just made this video several times longer because of the DLC. Now, for a while, I wanted to make a review on that, but I guess I'm gonna do it here, while also missing the good old days. Before I got Bloodborne, I was hungover by the God of War series, which is still good. Me and my brother thoroughly enjoyed it, but then we heard about the Souls-like genre, which was pretty new to us. We heard about it through Elden Ring when Kai Cenat was playing it, and we decided to just buy Bloodborne because of how insanely cheap it was. I was so happy to finally play it, but the first time I played it, I didn't really get it. It was a strange feeling. I felt like the game was unfair on what it was trying to show me. Of course we explored, but we never knew about the style of combat in the game, or even knowing how to parry. Some of this stuff I already knew through other games before this one, but this game was so different, mainly because it has no tutorial. You're kind of just a newborn baby trying to figure out how to take his first step. The first thing I witnessed with the gameplay is the speed. We are fucking fast. Really fast. And being the dumbasses we didn't really use that speed to our advantage. Instead of dodging forward like the game intended, we instead dodged backwards, using our insane flash speed to avoid damage instead of doing more damage. And to clarify the dodging forward thing, you need to dodge in the direction of the attack. Look at this crack-induced Bloodborne dog. He is relentless, always attacking and being aggressive by attacking forward only. But if you dodge forward from the left or the right, you will have a safe spot to deal more damage. But some enemies need you to dodge forward from the left or dodge forward from the right. Look at the Orphan of Kos. He has a rush attack that attacks from here. If you were to dodge forward from the right, then you'll just take damage. But if you were to dodge forward from the left, then you will avoid damage and deal more damage. That's the style of combat in the game. Avoid damage, deal more damage. This took a while to figure out near the end of the game. And of course, certain things were easier to get used to, like the parry, which was very easy to understand. And of course, not knowing where to go made the experience a lot more rewarding. Each time we found a new area that isn't really part of the main story, we are just more blown away than we already are. There's a place called Old Yharnam, a place that was the original Yharnam, but because of the overuse of some ancient blood, it eventually turned into a uninhabitable place, with people turning into the most vile beasts. The carnage of Old Yharnam was so bad and so bloody that they needed to seal that section of the town and rebuild a new one. The atmosphere in this place was perfect, and it doesn't stop there. Every section of Bloodborne consistently keeps that dark and depressing atmosphere. When you play Bloodborne, you could really feel the sadness of a once great city that now has to deal with the horrors of the night. And what makes this more and more scarier is the fact that anyone with overconsumption of the old blood can turn into a heartless, bloodlusted beast. Oh yeah, there's also no cure, which makes our chances of making a thriving city completely fucked, because everyone is fiending for that blood. I've always had the thought that in order to make a good game, you need to have a story that you could completely understand. Yeah, that doesn't really exist in Bloodborne. Instead of a narrator explaining the plot and world or showing the dialogue between characters to tell its story, Bloodborne is just silent. It mostly uses wordless storytelling, mostly using the environment and obscure pieces of dialogue to tell its story. And because of this, it has made the lore more interesting and fun to know about, and why certain bosses act the way they do in the beginning of the game. The bosses are pretty good. I mean, they're not Elden Ring level. I mean, certain bosses are in that level, especially the 4 DLC bosses. Shut up. You don't matter. I feel like everything in the game kind of goes to a completely different level once you get the DLC, which is probably my favorite DLC, even though Elden Ring is fundamentally better. I think it's still better in boss quality though. The first boss you fight in the DLC is Ludwig. Now, as much as I love the combat in Bloodborne, I guarantee that none of you have really adapted to it during your first playthrough of the game. But the DLC, it wants you to forcibly get good at the aggressive nature of the game. Every attack that Ludwig does always goes forward, leading you to dodge to the side or forward. And it doesn't help that this man is fucking terrifying. His moments in the cutscene are so disturbing. I genuinely had chills the first time I saw this. And best believe that when I got to his second phase, I recited the cutscene as if it was the holy book itself. You were by my side all along, my true mentor, my guiding moonlight. And what's so funny is the first thing he does when he regains his humanity is beat my ass. What? Why? I don't even mean... What does that even do? That doesn't even do nothing. After I beat him, he's just ahead now. Look at you. Pathetic. You had your freedom back, and you wasted it on me. Not gonna lie, I'm kinda flattered. But that was fucking stupid. And it's not just the boss quality of the game, it's the areas. Each area has its own personality. Even the areas that are supposed to be the same as the base game have a new feel to them. And this really shows what a DLC should be, a piece of content that should use what made the game good and add some unique places and new weapons. Because again, you don't want to change the movement or add more stuff to the combat or innovate in any way. That's what sequels are for. A DLC is supposed to incorporate something new but not change the fundamentals of the gameplay or anything. The DLC adds a new scene of not only freshness with the bosses and the areas, but it also expands on the lore of the game. Now, to this day, I'm still kind of confused on the Bloodborne lore, but I still know a lot of it. Now, to end off the DLC review section of the video, I really want to talk about Orphan of Kos, or some say Cosm. I'm so corny. This man was perfect. I don't think he was the hardest boss in Souls though. I think he was a perfect reflection of what a difficult boss looks like, while also forcing you to adapt to the Bloodborne playstyle. Now, there was gonna be a section on the lore, but to be honest, the DLC lore is way too confusing for me, so what you're gonna get is this. I've missed this game, and if it weren't for my brother taking a million years to beat that shit, I would have played the hell out of this shit so many times. And it's really a special game that I can't stop thinking about. It really has a dark atmosphere, the depressing lore, and the very fun combat. It always oh wait, I'm really messing up the script here. But I'm leaving the shit in, so you know, like it doesn't really matter. I will always have a special place for this game in my heart. So yeah, I'm glad I made this video, and I really wish I could make that Liza P video. That would be gas, but like, you know, I can't because my editing software is going to be very bad. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I don't want to make this video too long because my DaVinci is probably going to crash after this moment. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Bye.